Hey guys, so today I'm going to be doing a video on this blue cut crease. There's not much else to it. This look is a little product heavy, but just use whatever you have available to you. I just was experimenting a little bit and got a little carried away. But with that being said, let's just jump. Okay, so I'm just going to start by priming my face with the L'Oreal Magic Lumi Primer because I love a dewy, glowy skin. It just makes me happy. Okay, so for foundation, I am mixing the L'Oreal Infallible Pro-Glow in shade 201 and the Sephora brand Morning Light Radiant Luminizing drops. This combo right here, to die for. I love it. And I'm just going to use the Real Techniques sponge to blend that in. For concealer, I'm using the IT Cosmetics Bye Bye Under Eye in the shade Light. I use just a very little bit of this. I don't really like to use as much concealer anymore. I used to be super heavy-handed with it, but I like to just use it for, you know, concealing and a little bit of highlighting. Not so much, you know, anything too crazy. And then I'm using a little mini blending sponge. This is actually from Walmart. It's amazing. It's by like that Whispers brand. It came in a pack of 2 for like $3, so I'm all about that budget beauty blender life. For powder, I'm just taking Airspun and using my little sponge to apply this basically just where I put that concealer. And after I kind of put that where I want it, I'm just going to take a big brush and run it all over my face so that way, you know, any of that excess powder can brush off and then, you know, travel to other areas that I didn't like actually set. Now for brows, I'm going to do these off camera, but I'm going to take the Benefit Ka-Brow, and this is in shade 3. Okay, now that the brows are on, I'm going to contour, and I'm going to use the Shade and Light palette by Kat Von D. I'm going to go ahead in with the lightest shade, mixed in with a little bit of this middle shade. I'm going to take a MAC 129 brush and just kind of dust that kind of everywhere, you know. Okay, and I always like to do a little bit of like contouring, bronzing-ish before I do my eyeshadow, just so that way I can kind of see how it'll all come together. Okay, so I'm just going to apply a skin tone shade all over my lid and up to my brow bone. I'm going to take Smarty Pants from the Tartelette In Bloom palette. It is just a like transitional shade, and I'm going to put this through the crease, and I'm using a MAC 224 brush to do that. This does not have to be perfect. We're not necessarily cutting the crease just yet, but I am going to keep it more towards the brow bone and not on the lid. Now I'm just going to go in with Jet Setter, which is just a little bit darker, a little more cool toned as well. And I'm going to take an even smaller blending brush and basically just put that in this same exact spot, but it's just going to be a little more concentrated and less like blended up. It's going to be more towards the lid instead of towards the brow bone. We're going to try to concentrate it more directly into the crease. Now I'm going to take Cypress Umbar from the Modern Renaissance palette, but any like deep brown works. Like, you don't have to have this palette to do this. So I am going to start with a Morphe M507, which is a small little tapered brush, and I'm going to concentrate this again more directly at that crease. And you can kind of hold your brush more slanted upward because we're not wanting to blend onto the lid, we're wanting to blend into that crease. But this will also help us keep it concentrated at that crease line. Okay, now I'm going to go in with Activist from the Tartelette In Bloom palette. It's just a really deep, smoky brown. I'm using a Morphe E24 to kind of place a line of it at the base of that crease. Now I'm going to go into the Morphe 35S palette, and I'm just going to use the black on, this brand is called, I think, Scone Smudger brush. It's just a really teeny tiny brush, and I'm going to do that kind of thing. You're just doing the same thing over and over, but with a smaller brush and a deeper color. So now I'm just gonna carve out that crease, and I'm taking MAC's Painterly Paint Pot and a MAC 242. And we are going to just kind of carve it out. I'm going to take the Morphe 35S palette and this color right here, and I packed it onto a little brush here, and I'm spraying it with the NYX Dewy Finish Setting Spray. And I'm just going to pack it on the lid, but keep it low because we want to keep a space in that crease. And how big you want the gap between your crease and the lid is completely up to you. I'm just leaving kind of, I don't know, you can see. But I'm going to add some winged liner and I'll be right back. Now I'm just taking this like random glitter I have. It's just like a holographic glitter. I put some mixing medium on a little angled brush, and I'm just going to put this in the inner corner. And I'm also putting it in the outer portion of this negative space. Now I'm just going to go in with that blue that I had on the lid and apply it to my lower lash line. Just kind of really tightly in there. And now I'm taking a little bit of black and putting it in that outer half. Now I'm just going to apply some mascara and I will be right back. Okay, I also added a little bit of nude liner to my waterline, but that's the finished eye look. For highlighter, I'm just going to take the Gleam Glow Kit and I'm going to mix these two shades, so Crushed Pearl and Mimosa, and I'm just going to apply this all over the face. For lips, I'm just going to take Kat Von D's Lolita 2 and apply this. And I think this is a little bit too dark and warm, so I'm just going to add a little bit of something in the center. Okay, so I added a little bit of Requiem by Kat Von D and I just patted that kind of on top of it in the center. That cools it down a little bit. Okay guys, so this is the finished look. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.